Hello and welcome back to the alternate corner with me, Dylan. Anybody that is brand new, welcome. And those that have watched my pilot and are back, welcome back. Thanks to those of you that subscribed and liked my last video. I know it's not the best video, but hey, we're just starting. We're just starting on the journey. I have been for the past week just trying to learn how to edit, trying to set everything up. I get the comments about my lighting. I've got that ring light coming on Thursday or Friday. I got a stand coming for the camera. I got to set things up better. Basically, I'm in my den, my room here, so that it's my chill out room, and yeah, I don't know where to place anything. So it's all a work in progress. So bear with me when it comes to it all. Aesthetically, maybe not pleasing, but hopefully the content makes up for that. So I'll say welcome to everyone. And again, thank you for those that have subscribed already. If anybody who hasn't subscribed or new to the channel, please subscribe, please like it. It does really help me out as well. And it's actually very encouraging. I understand that it's small growth. I understand, there are YouTubers out there that will get, a load of likes for their videos and loads of subscriptions straight away. I'm not one of those, because, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I'm just learning as I go ahead. So I want to do everything slowly anyway, and it's beneficial. I want to grow this community. Hopefully people join in and chat. Don't be shy to chat. Some people have reached out on Twitter and added me on Twitter. Thank you for that. I am hoping to do some live streams and more of them. So I just want everyone to be able to jump in and contribute, really. It's really hard to get the right kind of timings for anything. I've got no schedule or anything like that because I'm in the UK. Currently here it's just gone 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So in the US, in most places, it's probably about 8 o'clock in the morning for some of you. And if you're in California, that area, Vegas, Nevada, then I imagine that's about 5 a.m. So yeah, I mean, it's impossible to get a suitable time for everyone. But we'll get there, we'll try. So anyway, that's enough waffle, and you will appreciate that I waffle a lot. Probably a bit of nervous energy, if I'm being honest. Probably because I feel a little bit uncomfortable in front of a camera. You never want to look at yourself. I'm not the minute I'm looking at myself, and it's a little bit daunting. But there we are. So yeah, look, this video specifically today is a little bit different. I just want to get this video out of the way because it was one of the reasons I started or want to start my own YouTube channel, really. It is around the Murdock case. For some of you from the UK, probably haven't heard about this. And let me just tell you, wow, this family, wow, okay, there's a lot. There is a lot here. Why am I filming what? But anyway, there's a lot here. I'm not going to go into it in this video. If you do want a deep dive into the Murdock family and going as far back as I can, happy to do so. But we're going to do so if you ask me to. If there's any comments that want me to do that, I realise a lot of people here, or some people here, will have had enough of the Murdock talk. So I want to just put a bow tie on this one, really. But happy to do a separate video for those who have never heard of the Murdock family. So if you haven't heard about it, research it or just leave a comment and we can delve more into it. This video is just about the trial, literally just about the murder trial, not about anything else, because there is a lot of other stuff that I'll touch upon some of it in this video, but I am definitely just concentrating on the murder trial here and my thoughts on that. It's the main reason I started watching the trial because the lawyer, Peter Tragos, mentioned this. So, let's have a bash because I was catching up with something on him on the 804 at the time, and he mentioned it. So I was like, right, let's go into this. But he emphasised how important it was to go in with an open mind and how that old slogan of innocent until proven guilty. So I did. I understood the logic of I don't know anything and I got to base everything upon the evidence. So I really mind my proper juror, which obviously upset some people. But I do get it. I do get why some people maybe were upset because they knew the whole story. I only knew what I was given in court. Um, so it is what it is. I want to move on from all that anyway, and I want to give an insight of how I thought. I also want to speak about some of the case, what I thought was crazy, and try to explain it to especially those in the UK how things work, and some of the great things that happened as well. So that's the purpose of this video. So if you don't know anything about the Murdock family, I do encourage you to have a look before you watch it. And for those that do know about the trial, I understand everyone's different views. For where I'm coming from, I'll tell you straight up now. Where I'm coming from with it is the jury made the decision. I stand by that decision. It's their right to do that, make that decision. They were on the panel. Um, their views are their views. Their opinions are their opinions. They're the important ones here. They made the judgment. I'm only speaking about my thought process throughout all of this, knowing basically what they knew as they went along as well. I tried specifically not to make too many notes or anything like that. So I wanted to, because it's crazy that they couldn't take notes, in my opinion. So what they had is basically what I had. I cheated a little bit because I would listen to recaps from Peter Tragos and I would listen to Emily Baker. So that is cheating a little bit, but it doesn't change the fact that I had the thoughts I had. So I think this is going to be interesting for some of you, hopefully. Just explain my thought process on it. Again, I don't think many people, well, a lot of you will agree, but I'll try to explain where I'm coming from because ultimately, when it was all said and done, I personally, if I had a vote, I would have voted not guilty right there and then. Not to say I wouldn't change my mind in deliberations and stuff like that, but when I finished, I was like, it did sit well, 100% well, but I always remember that you give the benefit of the doubt to the defendant. So that's where I'm at. I found him not guilty. Now, does that mean I feel he's innocent? No, no. But I found him not guilty, and hopefully this video can explain some of that stuff for everybody. So, right. Hopefully I haven't bored everyone yet, and hopefully everyone's listening. So yeah, let's get into it. So, here we go. A bit of background, just to remind us all. Alec Murdough, lawyer, had his own business. I would say he was wealthy. He was very successful. He got arrested and accused of murdering his wife, Maggie, and his younger son, Paul. He also has another son called Buster as well, who is not involved in this at all. So it happened on June the 7th, 2021. And I've got some notes on this as well. At the time, Maggie was 52 and Paul was 22. And they were murdered on their property or on one of their properties, essentially. And they were found by Alec down by the kennels. This is, anybody that has any family members that die and stuff like that, it's heartbreaking to think that the way that they died and everything, it's horrendous, to be quite honest. Of what we heard, thankfully we didn't see any photos or anything because it's not something that anyone should have to see. I'm glad that they hid all of that anyway. And I'm saying that the jurors did see it, and that's something they're going to have to live for the rest of their lives as well. So I don't envy them one bit on that. So there's, I think, 5 or 6 things, well, 5, I think, key points that I want to make that went into my decision and was at the forefront of my kind of thinking. And I grouped them as, well, SLED, which is, I wrote it down, thankfully, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. So they're the ones that are investigating the whole murders and stuff. So there's that. Alec and his lies. That's another one. The data that came from OnStar. The time of death. And then one of the most important videos, obviously, the kennel video. and with that ties into the data a little bit, but the cleanup and everything and how it all ties together. Those are all the key. I know there's lots of other things, but I think that it was it did matter about the shots and the angles and things like that. I think they all both sides discounted each other, and I thought that Dr. Kisney did a fantastic job in his rebuttal at the end of explaining things a little bit different. I thought he was probably one of their strongest witnesses for the state. Um, and I really liked it. I think with the autopsy and everything, and I know the doctor, she had a hard time by Dick, and a lot of people didn't like that. I felt uncomfortable watching that. I do understand he's doing his job, but I didn't take. I liked it the first time around, but didn't like it the second time around because there's so many things she didn't do. So I discounted a lot of her testimony about because she didn't X-ray anything, she didn't take pictures, she left a lot of things out of the report and stuff. So um, I genuinely think that Dr. Kearsley was the reason that I still contemplated guilty in this case. Because I discounted a lot of the other evidence in the rebuttal because I think the defense actually did a quite good job. And I should say that about both sides, both lawyers, defense and the state, whether it doesn't matter what side you're on or who you agree with, whatever. I think it's all credit to both sides that they did one hell of a job. Um, I don't think we can underestimate how much time and effort they all put into it. Um, it's not just the 9 to 5 that we see; it's the late nights, early mornings, the weekends, the months and months of work beforehand. 6 weeks that they had to work and live in some in a hotel room, some in a luxury pad. Um, all credit to both sides. I didn't like every lawyer on both sides, but you can't say anything bad about them. Well, I mean, you can because a lot of people have, but for me, all credit to all of them for doing their jobs. I understand there were some issues with Dick Harpoolian. I'm not his biggest fan. I tell you, people that follow me on Twitter know that the the lawyers I really liked were I forget the names now. Barber, lawyer Barber. He from the defense. I loved his demeanor. I loved the way that he presented himself, and I wish that he did closing arguments for the defense. Actually, I really liked him. I wish the Maggie Fox, I believe her name is. She's the female lawyer on there. I wish she'd done more or had more of an opportunity as well because I liked her demeanor. She didn't get rattled at all. So I wish she'd have done or be given the opportunity to do a lot more, and maybe Dick and Jim doing less because I don't think they came across great with the jury. But the same it could be said with some of the lawyers on the state side. I think sometimes Creighton lost it a few times, I believe, in my opinion. But overall, he did an excellent job. Um, Savannah, I thought she was great. A couple of times she may have slipped up a little bit, but overall, I thought she was really good. Um, yeah, and I think the AG was it the AD? Oh, I don't remember. Um, the I don't remember his name anyway, but he did one across, and I thought he was really good as well. So yeah, here we go. Right. So obviously, people that are watching this have seen the whole. So I'll just log out. I have seen everything. I know about the case, so I'm just going to go in SLED. SLED. Look, I'm not going to bash SLED in the sense that I'm not going to be like no other department is similar, but come on, they did a lot of mistakes, and anyone defending them saying, "Oh no, they did a terrific job." They did a job, but I don't think they did a very good job at all. There's a video that really annoys me with Creighton Waters and Agent Owen hugging and smiling and stuff. And I'm like, dude, Agent Owen, jeez, man, you you should be celebrating. You nearly cost this trial. You know, you're the lead detective. and it was a shambles. They didn't do hardly anything they should have done, and I'm not going to give them credit for that. I do believe that they should have had a bashing for it. Now, I don't think that they're all bad or anything like that. I think there were circumstances because, as we all know, the Murdoch family, they do intimidate a lot of people and think they're above everyone. But still, come on, from the start, like the evidence that got trashed and stuff, the tire tracks, not picking stuff up, uh, you know, not in the scene, not taking, fingerprints on the footsteps stuff. There's so many things that they could have done that really annoys me. Um, I try and forget about it. And I know that not many people agree with my stance on SLED, um, but I do think they should have done a much better job than they did. I'm not going to bash too much about it, but you've got to remember, I'm looking at this as well. I don't know all the information at this point. So for me, when Agent Owen was on the stand, and he was like, "Yeah, I lied to the grand jury because I'd said there was blood spatter all over Alec." In fact, he'd had an email to say there was no blood spatter. That didn't sit well with me. How can you miss an email that important? Um, Lack of evidence that was there. They missed so much. They didn't do any testing. They didn't do testing of the golf cart. They didn't do testing within the house till it's too late. And I get, just I try and stand it by giving them the benefit of the doubt. But this is a murder trial. Murder trial. This is not a burglary or something. This is a murder trial. You really have to do your due diligence. So it doesn't really sit well with me how much stuff was missed. Um, if they were doing a thorough job, they should have been down at Almeida with Alec's mother. All this circumstantial stuff should not be circumstantial if they've done their jobs. If they've been down there to see, because they knew Alec had been down there, and Alec is in the circle at that point. I truly believe most departments would have been straight down because I know they need a search warrant, but from what everyone's saying, Alec and all them were saying, yeah, they can search anywhere they want. So that would be interesting to see would they allow the search down in Almeida, see if the weapons are down there and if the raincoat, the raincoat, that's another disaster. There's nothing on this circumstantially. It's like, yeah, there's a bit of gun residue. That's it. It's like that's like months afterwards. It's just I don't know. None of it sits well with me. It's just I'm not going to say it's a botched job, but it's pretty close to that. You know, yeah, I'm not sure what I can do with that. Even by going but releasing the scene so quickly. John Marvin being able to clean it the very next morning, and I don't know. It's just, as I say, it doesn't sit well with me, and a lot of evidence was either destroyed or messed with or tampered, and yeah, I think they missed a hell of a lot. Even, as I say, going to Almeida, checking the house that evening, golf cart, checking that, checking the cars, just checking everything. But it is what it is. Not much we can do about it now. It's over with. But that for me was like a big no, 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 no. Then we go on to Alex's lies. Geez, this guy, he's a king of lying. He lied about where he was that evening. He said he was never down the kennels. But basically, I'm not sure if he actually said, I've never been down there at all. But, he said he was sleeping all that time. And throughout it all, I was like, okay, what's his excuse going to be? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But he didn't really have an excuse. But we'll get into that in a little bit when we come to the data. Just all his lies, the financial crimes that they went into. I mean, they spent, 2.5, 3 weeks on financial crimes, which bogged it all down. And it was done for motive, but we heard from one of the jurors who said that, yeah, we could only use your mute for motive, but, we saw there was a bad guy from that, and he lies all the time from that evidence. So they used it for much more than just motive. And to be quite honest, so did I. It's impossible just to use it as motive, I believe. Once you hear something like that, you just got to picture the guy as a bad guy. So between that and the roadside incident where he got cousin Eddie allegedly to try and kill him, which that failed. Um, but there was more lies there. His drug addiction, opioids. Jeez, I struggle with that one. I'll just say drugs from that one. His drug addiction. I believe that he's an addict. I have got nothing, even though it was a lie, I do believe that he was taking drugs. I'm not sure he was taking as much as he was saying he was, but still, I wouldn't, doesn't surprise me that he's a drug addict. And I'm sure there's other lies as well. He just lied. It's where does it stop? Where does it start? Where does it stop with that guy? So that was what in a way that sort of started come back and balance it against the SLED stuff. Because in my mind, if your wife and son's just being killed, you're going to be completely honest. I get that he says he doesn't trust SLED, but I also think that's a lie. I think that's something he can fabricate now. I don't blame him for being scared because if you said he was down there a few minutes before the murders, that does look bad. But so what? You just got to be truthful and you just got to respect it and just go, right, I hope they believe me. I'm not telling them any lies. Let's go. But he decided just to lie. So I don't agree with that. So anyway, move on from that. Data. So with the data, so some people thought the data was gospel. Some people, data is something you manipulate for your own benefit. I believe that overall the data helped the defense more than it helped the state. Now, I've seen comments that people said absolutely not. It totally solidified that Alec killed Maggie and Paul. Well, I don't. This is where I don't agree with that. I think there's a lot of things here, which I'm not going to go into all of it, but the basic stuff like the people saying at one point the steps and stuff that he must have been sprinting around the place. I don't think the steps are that abnormal. I do a lot of walking, and yes, that's probably a brisk walk, but I googled it and it said a brisk walk is normally 100 steps a minute on average. So actually, the steps he had was minimal. If anything, I would have expected more steps than he had. So I just, I ignored all that. That wasn't an issue for me. Then Maggie's phone, and people said, well, he dropped it on the way to Almeida. I don't see that. Again, just my view. I don't see that. That to me shows that someone else did that, not Alex. I think that plays into Alec is his hands. I know the jury thought he did have it and he did check it, but I think that plays into hands that he didn't do it personally. I don't see it on the data. The kennel video obviously places him, you know, nearly at the time of the murder, but the problem is, what time was the murder? There is that. I'm just trying to look where he drove. So we don't know what exact time. People are working off the assumption that they were killed roughly around 8:49, 8:50. I'm not quite sure that's true. Video Kennel, I think, believe was there 8:45. So he'd have like 5 minutes or something potentially to get back to the house, which I think is likely. He could have got back to the house within a few minutes. I don't believe that just because Paul put his phone down, that was it. He was killed instantly. I don't understand that. I don't quite agree with that. I do think there is an opportunity that he could still have been alive and Maggie could still have been alive for a lot longer than that. I do think it was before 9. I think it was more like 8:55 or something potentially. That's stretching it a lot, and I agree that is stretching it. But I don't think it was like 8:49, 8:50 done, dead, gone. I no, I don't. I do. People said he used it all the time, but he only had 2% battery, so he could have realistically put the phone down. Maggie could have put the phone down in her pocket or wherever, and done other stuff. So I think that you have to think that there's other minutes that can be accounted for. So I have to go with reasonable doubt there that they weren't killed at that exact time, which means then Alec didn't have any time. He didn't have any time. Oh, I clicked something and it wasn't good. Alec leaves around 9:08, but his car it is cranked up before then and stuff like that. Um, so you give the benefit that was 9:06, 9:07. If he were killed at 8:55, yeah, 8:55, 10 minutes or so to do everything. We'll get into it, but I don't see it. Same with the time of death. Geez, time of death, man. The coroner. It's weird. The coroner in South Carolina is elected, which is like wow. But the coroner, when he said that he couldn't do a rectal thermometer for temperature for time of death, but did the whole, you know, hands under your armpits thing, and that gives time of death. I was like, Dick, what are you doing? This is the worst witness you could have brought on. I was like, this is laughable. Then it clicked then afterwards that he had to bring him on because he was a state guy. So that's what the state were going off. So yeah, it is ridiculous. It took me a bit of time to click on that one for whatever reason. So yeah, I just thought it was ridiculous that we base anything off that. But he was like nine, half nine. Um, so yeah, I don't think the time of death is as easy as what people make out to be. So fine. Um, the kennel video and the cleanup. I believe that there was enough time after the kennel video for him to go back to the house for quite a few minutes to settle down before the murders happened. And those who say there isn't enough time and that he is too little time, then I challenge you that the same can be said about the cleaner. Because I do not believe that even if you give someone 20 minutes, that he could have got all that evidence, the guns, got everything together, cleaned himself down with a hose, cleaned it down, put it all back together, made sure that everything was fine, everything was ready to go. Uh, Clean the areas. You can imagine all the blood and tissue and everything that is going to be all over the murderers. Like it's not just a quick rinse down. It's you've got a lot of stuff to get together here. People saying he's taking the phone, Maggie's phone. He's probably panicking. He's then got to go back to the house. He's then got to be so careful because he's got all this evidence. Where does he put it? He's got to bag it somehow. I know people talking about a box, a cooler, and stuff, but even then, like he's got to strip down naked outside, put all the evidence in the box, hope that no one comes in the next 10 minutes or so, runs upstairs, has a shower. He's probably still covered in blood and tissue and whatever else there was there. People say you can have a shower in 2 minutes. No bloody way. Absolutely no chance is he having a 2 minute shower. Think about it. Okay, he's stripped off outside. He's naked. He's running through. His dinglings going back and forward as he's running up the stairs to go up and have a shower. Puts a shower on. He's probably got blood on his hands and stuff. So he knows, oh shit, I need to wash that off. Jumps in. He's going to have to be absolutely paranoid. He's not just going to jump in and just give a quick wash. He's going to have to scrub himself so thoroughly about 4 or 5 times. And he's on drugs. So he's going to be paranoid as hell. So he's going to want to scrub all his fingernails, all his hair, inside his ears, inside his nose, everywhere. His back, he's going to have to get a brush and scrub, scrub, scrub. It's not 2 minutes. Then he's obviously got to get out, dry the shower. Then he's got to look at everything again, wash off all the taps and everything like that, make it look like nothing unusual's happening. Also, being paranoid probably that, geez, there's still some blood going to be maybe around. He knows how crime scene investigators are. They pick up the smallest fleck of blood. So does all that, goes down, gets all the stuff together, puts in the car and buggers off, and obviously phones people, texts people in between. Nah, for me, nah, don't get it, don't stand it. Would never happen. And that's a big factor why, for me, on balance, I would see him as not guilty. I think it's more believable that he went back from the kennels to the house than it is that he was able to kill down there and then still clean up. That's that's where I'm at with it. I can't see past that. And that when it comes down to it, that is the one piece of evidence I just can't get over. I can't get over the cleanup um, of the area itself, plus him. Just so he knows that if SLED are any good, they're going to go down to Almeida that night. So I don't believe he has time to hide all that, all the guns and everything. Because if you do an investigation, he knows either that night or the very next day they're going to be down there searching to try and eliminate him from that circle. So that's where I'm with it. Um, I know other people have different reasons, and this is not against the jury at all. They made a decision, um, so that's up to them. They had a tough job. I think I was quite surprised that speed of the decision, but I'll speak about that in a little bit now. Um, I'd be interested to hear people. So actually, I've heard most people's thoughts on it. I'm a great believer that you can't really make a decision until you see all the evidence. So, I did cheat a little bit. I was theorizing a little bit here and there. But ultimately, there was no theory because it was all like um, guesswork right until the end, till we got the last piece of evidence in. Um, I hadn't made a genuine decision, and I thought at one point it might have been guilty. But when I came down to it, I was like, there's just a few things that don't sit well. Saying all of that, I said at the start, do I think he's innocent? No, I don't. Um, Even though I say all this, I think that if the state, in my personal opinion, if the state had taken another angle, taken the two shooter angle and stuff, and I don't believe they needed to place anyone with him, but to say that he was one of them, or that he had paid for two people or one person to do this, I could see that with everything. I could see it. Um, as hard as that is to see that a husband could kill his wife and son, I believe that is more believable that he did all this himself. An overweight guy that's on drugs, have enough sense to do. I know he's a lawyer, so he knows everything, as people say, but the paranoia he would be under with all that, I don't see it. Someone else doing it, and he's paid them, I could see it. So yeah, I'm not saying that he's not involved at all. I think there's a few coincidences, like him leaving his phone back at home and stuff like that. Um, I don't want to ramble on here, but those are the key pieces for me anyway. As I say, it's different for everyone, but those were how I came to basically a not guilty. I'd not say it sits well with me, but that's what I thought anyway. So yeah, that side of it. Right, let's get on to a couple of other bits just to close off here. Final thing, what happens next? So at the time of recording, obviously Jim and Dick have put an appeal in. I don't know too much about that. I'll let the lawyers speak about that. They understand it. I thought all along that they would have a good opportunity to appeal based on the financial crimes coming in, but it doesn't seem quite that easy. So I default that to people that know what they're talking about. I don't. The only other thing I wanted to cover really was the one thing was how ridiculous I think this is. I know it's law, and I know that I'm in the wrong, as people say, but in my opinion, the the mere fact that there was a juror who was a brother of a witness, I don't get it. And the mere fact that Alex's cousin, the judge told him it's fine, you can sit on it, but he recused himself because he was like, "No, I can't be impartial. I just can't. It's my cousin." So thankfully, he did that. I don't get it. I, this is not a slight at James the juror at all because he did everything by the book. He disclosed it. He told them, "Look, my brother is going to be a witness. He's going to testify. No problems." Judge allowed it. The defense said, "Oh, Your Honour, we got extra questions on this," and then they, whatever time, then they went to the chambers and had discussions. I don't know what happened there, whether the defense can actually strike him there or not. I don't know. But when he came up as an alternate and Dick had one strike left, I know he could have stricken him there, but I do think there were other people even worse than this guy, which is shocking. But I generally think there were people there that he did not want to be on this jury panel or on the alternate list, and that's why he didn't use it. I strongly believe, and my belief has been shot down by so-called lawyers online, saying your opinion is not the law and stuff. Yeah, whatever. I have an opinion on it, and I just think it's bonkers. And this is me looking from the outside in. You can disagree with me as much as you want, but I just think it's bonkers that a brother of a witness was on the jury panel, and B, like a cousin, a blood relative of Alec, could have been on the panel if he was chosen. So to put it on defense, say they didn't strike him, yeah, they should have stricken him. But I do wonder who else was there they didn't want. I just think that law is bonkers. I don't. Is that a law everywhere? I don't know, but oh my days, come on! I just find it shocking. As it happens, the guy was, I think, he's a mouthpiece now for the state. He's going and doing every interview. He's got his reasons for stuff, but I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me. I don't think that has any impact on the appeal. It doesn't. Everything's legit by all accounts. Fine, no problem. But come on, let's look at that law. Let's look at it and maybe change it so blood relatives can't be on there. Can you imagine if Alec's cousin was on there? Well, it'd be a hung jury. He was never going to vote guilty, probably, for Alec. And then everyone would be up in arms. How can his cousin be on there? Well, exactly. Let's not make it a thing anymore, guys. Let's look at it and say that is ridiculous. If you're just taking James off, there were still plenty of other people. If there's friends and acquaintances, I've got no issues with that because it's such a small place. It is what it is. You can't help that. You've got to move otherwise. That's not a problem. But brother, come on. Even those that cite that it's the law, you've got to admit that's not right. Anyway, that's enough of my drivel for one day. Again, this is just, unless you've watched the trial, no one's going to understand what I've just spoken about. And even if you have watched the trial, you might not even understand what I've spoken about. Hopefully there's some interest in that. I'm going to do more videos this week and in the following weeks. Again, any comments you've got, please. I'm not surprised if people have dropped off well before now, but any comments you've got, any advice you've got, please let me know. If people are interested to do the live stream this week or next week or something, let me know. We'll just have a chat over a trial or something. So yeah, again, just a reminder for those that have stuck around, please subscribe and please like this video. And yeah, I'll be in touch and hopefully get another video out in the next week or two. Well, not next week or two, the next week. Thanks, guys. Take care. Ta-ra.